Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today, Youngstown native Vince Guerrieri spoke at Bits and Bites on weird moments in Cleveland sports. And I learned how to make mozzarella cheese. But first, we shop downtown Youngstown at the Blue Heron Antique Mall. This is Melanie, and we are here at the Blue Heron Antique and Fine Gift Store. And this is the latest addition to the Gateway Phelps area.
Yes.
And this is unbelievable, the menagerie that you have acquired here.
Thank you. Thank
so
you
where
so
was
much.
all this stuff, Melanie? Before, did you have like storage lockers?
Yes, storage lockers, couple hidden places downtown. A reno on the north side that my friend is doing, and yeah, storage facilities mainly from my films. So that's how it started.
This is such a diverse group of, from China to dolls to figurines.
Cowboys.
Cowboys. We're sitting on Roy Rogers' bench.
Yeah,
right?
his bed.
His
bed when he was a stable hand. Yes, this was his bed at a ranch. Can you imagine?
Oh boy, somebody's gonna want this badly.
Yeah,
There's a lot
I know.
of Roy Rogers fans.
Yes, there are. Well, he's from Cincinnati.
I did not know that.
Yes, he is. He's from Cincinnati. Although this came from California, someone brought it back as a fan back to Ohio.
So you get the history on all this too.
I try to, yeah.
There's things that people would really connect with. And so many of the things, especially glassware and china, were made right around this area.
Oh, yeah.
Down the river, we had so many different, Fenton and all that. There is a real history.
There is.
In Ohio. What started your journey into all these collections?
All-encompassing art. It's where I'm at artistically in my life as an artist is sharing and curating. One of my first customers was a young YSU student. And he came in here and very smartly bought a silk tie and 2 gold spoons and said he was giving one to his girlfriend. So I just thought that was so sweet. You never know. So I have a lot of fun watching people choose. And I'm always surprised by it. Sometimes I'm not, but.
And the one thing that I found really interesting is your little bridal.
Yes.
That is, the whole thing's curated. The gown, the gifts, everything.
The crystal champagne glasses. There are a few selections of sparkly heels.
Everything goes.
Everything goes. 444. That's our lucky number here. So you'll see things priced a lot. The expensive things are 444, but we have a lot of things that are $4. A lot of things that are $44. Right. I really want handmade things. I have some shampoo bars in here now. Some local honey from Poland. Just items to go with the fine gifts. So if you're putting something together, when you're assembling a gift for somebody, I love to put something old, something new, something artistic.
Something made right here.
Yeah, and local, area. To the area, because I have abandoned shopping corporate. I want the money to be kept.
And we want the local stores to stay here.
Yeah, even the plants that are in the store were planted locally, grown locally. I want everybody to benefit directly, and I feel that if everyone does that a little bit, we will be able to keep our beautiful Youngstown safe, self-contained. One of the first pieces we sold was a 1970s completely mint, long leather, looked like Jenny from Forrest Gump, McKelvey's leather jacket that was trimmed with a guitar strap look.
When you see those old tags, Livingston's and Herzl Rosenson's, McKelvey's.
Yes.
And when you used to get Lustig's, you used to get such a rush.
Oh, yeah.
Shopping downtown,
my grandma told me.
And it really was something. Well, you may know one of Melanie's tenants, Robert Joshua. You are no stranger to fine collectibles and antiques. And you're still in the biz.
Casey, I've been in the business 50 years this year.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. I can't believe I'm still alive. I started when I was 11 with my grandmother, and I'm 61, celebrating a half a century in the business of antiques.
And you still have a lot going on. Now, your shop is out in North Jackson.
Yes, I retired last summer by selling the Joshua Tree location and complex on Market Street. And within about 30 days, I got so bored, I bought a big old church out in North Jackson. We named it the Red Door Church Emporium because under the beautiful roof of that church, and we honor it as a church and respect it as a church, as it's been for 100 years. We just love the history there. The community is great. We've got other antique shops in the town there.
You also now have a vision for upstairs. I went upstairs and it is still, but you've got your little worker bees up there.
I do.
And your vision is a really cool themed Airbnb.
So, at any rate, I love Melanie. I love what she's doing here. When I looked at this old Frankel Brothers cigar building,
right,
and she showed me the second floor, I envision depiction of some of the greatest movie theaters and movie houses in downtown. The State Theater.
The Palace.
The Palace. And the Warner Brothers.
Right. Do you have a lot of memorabilia from them?
I do, and the Historical Society, as well as another friend who collects images, are helping me to appoint my interior in various ways that resemble those great edifices.
Oh, nice.
But we want to make it reasonable so people can, in town, stay a couple nights downtown. I'm not here to compete against our great hotels. I'm here to augment what we do. And if somebody wants a really interesting experience, they're going to stay here.
I hope that I'm hopefully inspiring others to come join the pack down here, and we have some lovely restaurants, and I think dinner, brunch, shopping, it all goes together, and I hope I inspire another business to take a leap.
Start. I mean, I've already seen a million things that I love in here.
Thank you.
No, it's great. Just stay in your own lane. The Casey Malone Show will be right back after this.
This is GABA Camp, barrier-free camping and nature for our friends with disabilities. Thank you for your generous donations. We now have our first phase, but more work needs to be done. A lodge will provide a meeting place and food service for our adults with disabilities and their families. GABA Camp is a 501c3 organization. We need your help to grow. Donate to GABA Camp. Giving is living.
You already know us for our top-tier windows, but what about our advanced gutter systems? With our Double Pro gutter filtration, 2 layers of industrial-grade aluminum keeps debris out of your gutters and drives rainwater away from your home. Plus, our continuous hanger technology reinforces your entire gutter system for maximum strength and drainage. And we'll install it all in as little as 1 day. Why wait for the next storm to get gutters that perform? Not only do we stand behind our gutters, we hang on them.
Sweet Memories Vintage Teas and Candy in Liberty, a store like no other. Step through our doors and travel back in time. Remember the nostalgic candy, vintage sodas, and retro toys you thought were gone forever? You'll find all your classic favorites and so much more. Because memories are best when shared, we give back to local charities. Sweet Memories Vintage Teas and Candy, bringing you joy one memory at a time.
Hi, I'm John Stanko.
And I'm Robbie Fellman from Boardman Subaru, introducing the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester Hybrid.
The most fuel-efficient Forester ever with up to 40% better fuel economy.
And over 580 miles of driving range per tank of gas.
With increased horsepower and torque while being the lowest emissions Forester ever.
The Forester is one of the best-selling and most award-winning SUVs in America.
Test drive yours today at Boardman Subaru.
Just south of Route 224 on South Avenue.
It's patio season at Carmela's. Enjoy our family's traditional Italian favorites and creative daily specials. We're open for lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday. Carmela's on Western Reserve Road in Boardman.
Shop C-Max Northside Appliance in Struthers, the local appliance store that beats big box prices every day.
3 generations serving Youngstown, Ohio, soon to be our 4th.
Well, I have a very special guest in my kitchen today, David Verdenik, and I met him down at the Blue Heron Antique Mall. And David you are a Renaissance man. You do it all.
You say so.
He has his soap for sale there, which, by the way, I'm giving you the endorsement, the thumbs up. Bought some soap down there. It is Rockwell Urban Farm Soap. Smells great. This one is the cucumber melon. He's got lavender, all kind of things, but you can buy him right down there at the Blue Heron. But we were talking, and he also makes cheese, Parmesan and cheddar, which are a lot more involved. But you tell me this is like a 40-minute mozzarella.
Yes, got the recipe on YouTube. Guy's name's Gavin Weber. He's a Australian YouTuber, makes a bunch of cheeses. Just about every video he starts off with "Good day, curd nerds." But yeah.
So are you a curd nerd?
I dabble.
Okay. Well, he has all the equipment. None of this is mine. We're gonna go over the basic ingredients, but you are gonna need some equipment in that, and we'll go over it, and I will have it really detailed in the recipe on my website. You ready?
Sure.
Let's get going. We're gonna go over these ingredients, and then we are going to make some mozzarella cheese. For this recipe, you'll need 2 gallons of whole milk, 1 tablespoon of citric acid, 1/2 rennet tablet, 1/8 teaspoon of lipase, that is optional, 1/4 teaspoon of calcium chloride, and 2 tablespoons of salt. Use distilled or purified water to dilute the ingredients.
Just dilute the lipase.
And how much water do you dilute in there?
Quarter cup, half cup. It's not crucial, just enough to dissolve it all.
And then we add this. This isn't even really warm yet.
Yeah, you want to do it around room temperature.
Okay. So we have this heated up to over medium heat.
I'll go ahead and dissolve the calcium chloride that we're going to use.
All right, now what does this do?
It helps to set the curd a little firmer.
And we're going to add that too. All righty. And that was about a quarter cup?
Yeah.
Okay. And now we are warming this to what degree?
We're at 90 degrees is our first target temperature here. Mix our citric acid with the water.
All right, so you just like to space these out.
Like with the lipase, you want to add that more toward the beginning. And the calcium chloride, you can add around the same time. Some people will do that before they even start heating it. Citric acid, this will just raise the pH. Later when we go to stretch it, it'll help it stretch the mozzarella, give it a nice shiny texture. Well, now we're at 90. We have to
dissolve the heat.
Yeah, turn off the heat. We're going to dissolve the rennet tablet in the distilled water. You don't want to do this ahead of time. You want to dissolve it like right before you're going to use it because it can lose some of its effectiveness.
Okay.
So once we add this, we're going to want to stir it for no longer than 15 seconds or else the curds are going to start setting. And I'm going to pour this and start stirring and my head count to about 15, and then once it's over, we'll put the lid on it and let it set.
So lid it.
Yep.
Set it and forget it.
10
now,
minutes.
how long?
10 minutes, and we'll come back and check the curd to see if it's set good. You stick your finger in, down, and then lift up, and we have a nice, pretty clean break right there.
Wow, right, okay.
The top does have little smaller pieces from when it was curdled from the citric acid, but underneath we have the nice curd from the rennet. I use this as just a cooling rack that fits my pot nicely.
All right.
You could just use a knife if you want. You don't even have to use one of these.
Oh, I see.
The whole thing kind of wants to move with it, but get it around. And then I'll take a spatula and then I'll make cross cuts.
All right.
Go back and see what our temperature is right now.
And what do we want it to be?
Well, we're going to bring it up to, it's still 90 holding. We're going to bring it up to about 105. So just put that on like a medium low.
And do you stir it or do anything at this time?
Some people say, oh, don't stir much. See how the underneath it's like a nice smooth.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it kind of looks like tofu.
You want it to heat evenly, so it'll probably start looking a little like scrambled eggs, and it's not a big deal. Some people will say, stir it as little as possible. I've always stirred it and always had, good results. Once the curd has come up to 105, take it, we'll strain off all the way.
So you want all the liquid out of there.
As much as we can get out, yeah. And as we heat it, when we start kneading it, it'll expel more, and we'll dump that as we go.
So now we're just going to transfer this to a microwave safe bowl.
We're going to microwave it for about a minute. Pour it off again. Knead it, and you can see it's already starting to come together.
Wow, it is. It's getting a lot glossier. How will you know when it's really ready?
You can give it the stretch. It's getting there.
Wow. That's beautiful.
I'd say maybe 20 seconds more and
that's it?
We might be there, yeah.
So you put in the 2 teaspoons of salt.
Yeah, right towards the end, like the last or second to last kneading when you're going back and forth to the microwave. Just want to kind of get it good and incorporated now.
And what happens if you don't salt it? It really doesn't have much flavor.
It's just, yeah, salt's just for flavoring. Try a piece?
Yeah.
It's a little warm.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this, you'd have to let it cool before you cut it. So this is still a little too warm.
Mm-hmm. For if you're gonna make something, yeah.
Wow.
Like it wouldn't be too good in the salad right now because it's
right.
warm, but yeah.
Do you prefer a ball or like a little loaf?
I just usually make them in like this kind of size ball and vacuum seal them, and they kind of fit nice in the fridge. And that just helps keep it in that form, because if we set this on the counter, it would just flatten out into like a disc.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that's what the ice bath is primarily for.
So here we have it. We've got 4 balls of beautiful mozzarella. You already sliced this one. Gino, I'll save you some. Okay. Pretty damn good. Let me tell you, this is amazing. It has just the right amount of the consistencies. I mean, it tastes just like, but it's better. You're right. It has a lot more flavor. Really wasn't that much trouble. I mean, you really do have to, I'm sure you have to practice a little bit, especially the consistency, right? With the taffy. What would you say the most difficult part was when you were learning?
Probably how much to heat it at the end with the microwave to get it exactly where you want it. Because, I mean, there is a possibility you can overdo it, although I haven't really gone that far and actually overdone it. I've underdone it and had some really moist mozzarella that didn't like stretch, but you know, just getting it to that nice where you get the stretch and the shiny.
Then it's, yeah. Now don't forget, he's also the soap maker. So stop down and see Melanie and that wild crew down there and get some soap. And I have tried, I'm gonna have these online. I know it was a lot of little steps, but I think I have them clearly written down. So just go to my website and you will get the recipe for David's homemade mozzarella. I can't thank you enough. I can't. This was so much fun. Thank you so much.
MyMe Global is your premier local resource for all things 3D. At MyMe, we make 3D portraits of you, your pets, and cake toppers. Or witness your child's growth year over year and get their graduation MyMe for free. Photos don't last, but a MyMe lasts a lifetime. Visit the MyMe store, located in the Round Glass building on Belmont. Get your own 3D printer, where we assemble, repair, and get it running right. We even give you a discount on materials. At MyMe, we know 3D.
I'm Elizabeth Bernard. For more than 30 years, I've provided our Valley with sound legal advice. My associate Jennifer Rigetti and I will be your legal representatives if you're involved in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident. Don't try to handle it yourself. We'll navigate the red tape of dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the obstacles that you'll face. Remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases, and hiring a lawyer does not mean you have to go to court.
Call attorney Elizabeth Bernard, local legal experience for more than 30 years.
Locally sourced is good, whether it's ingredients or a bank, and that's why my bank is Farmers National Bank. Since 1887, Farmers has remained rock solid through every economic condition. Having a bank with a history of safety, soundness, and conservative management is a must. It all boils down to this. You need a bank that will help you reach your goals. I do too. and Farmers is mine. Farmers National Bank, rock solid.
Mara, we want to help you find a ring that's as unique as your love. We'll guide you through the entire process, from deciding between natural and lab-grown diamonds, discovering the perfect stone, to finding the setting that fits your style. And with our in-store repair services, we'll make sure your ring looks stunning for years to come. Whether you're looking for timeless elegance or a modern twist, we'll work with you and your price range to find the perfect ring.
Get real, get Kamara.
Weight loss goals aren't one size fits all. At Hurricane Health and Wellness, we understand the struggle. We've been there too. That's why we offer the most popular, effective weight loss medications at an affordable price. Look and feel your best today with Hurricane Health and Wellness.
On the third Thursday of each month, the Mahoning Valley Historical Society hosts Bites and Bits at the Tyler. Bring a lunch and enjoy an interesting speaker. I attended when Youngstown native Vince Guerrieri, author of Weird Moments in Cleveland Sports, spoke in honor of the 50th anniversary of the Cleveland Indians' 10-cent beer night debacle. Vince discussed the date, which will live in infamy.
I think that will be the context by the way we dive into the 10-cent beer night riot. So I give you Vince Guerrieri.
Thank you, Bill.
So I had no idea that Vince Guerrieri was I did not know you were a West Sider from, White Town is my town. I think that's pretty cool. Cheney grad, makes good. And why the fascination with sports? Have you always been, drawn to the oddball stories?
And that's part of it too. I think I was about 12 or 13 years old when I realized that I was never going to be a baseball player. But I realized that I could probably write about it, and I have, and that's kind of spun me off into the direction I've gone on. And I am attracted to those strange, unusual type stories that, the things I told somebody once that my beat as a reporter is the stories that make people say, I had no idea that happened. This is but one of the stories in Weird Moments in Cleveland Sports. It is my most recent book. It is also the longest book that I have ever written. It is, I guess it's what you would call a target-rich environment.
When you started your talk today, you said how many people were there, and it's like Woodstock.
Well, that's what John Adams said. He was the guy with the drum for years and years at the ball games. But he said, over the years, 720,000 people have told me they were at 10-cent beer night. How many people here were at 10-cent beer nights? How many people claim they were at 10-cent beer night and figure everybody else was drunk, so they won't remember? Okay. Well, I asked that because one of the people I talked to for this Cleveland Magazine feature was John Adams, who is, of course, the guy with the drum in the bleachers at Cleveland Stadium and then at Jacobs Field and then at Progressive Field. But he was there. He had started bringing the drum the preceding August, 1973, and he brought it there for years and years and years. And one of the things he told me is that 720,000 people have told him that they were at 10-cent beer night.
And the funny part is also, it was still 18 drinking age.
Yes.
So
and it was 3-2 beer.
Right, and 3-2, and I don't even know if that really made a big difference back then. Where do you find all your stories? Do you consume all kind of local newspapers? Is that where you find a lot of these stories?
I do a certain amount of freelance writing. I do a lot of it is features. But when you do stuff like that, when you come across something, when you're doing research for one thing, sometimes you say, oh wow, that's really interesting. And you file it away in your memory banks and you say, I'll work on this when I don't have anything else going on. But I have a file at home of stories that sound really, really interesting that I have not quite gotten to do anything with to this point.
But you've really adapted well because, you're doing the online stuff.
I am.
And you're doing a lot of freelance, but you still work for the Chronicle.
Yes.
And are they still print? They still are.
They still print a paper 6 days a week.
6 days a week, yeah. Wow.
Unfortunately, one of the problems, and this is, kind of the dirty secret of newspapers, is there's a lot of problems with distribution. I mean, the era of the paper boys. I mean, you know how it was. After school, there would be yellow school buses and orange Vindicator trucks delivering the bundles of papers to the paper boy, and nobody does that anymore. And so what a lot of newspapers are doing is they're actually going to mail delivery. You can actually, if you get it to the post office early enough, it'll go out with that day's mail. And we are able to do that. And the problem is that obviously there's no mail service on Sundays.
Yes.
So we just refer people to our website and our e-edition. So we do an edition, but we don't publish an edition, if that makes sense to you.
And what is your next story? What are you working on right now?
That's a really good question. I've kind of, the feature came out for Cleveland Magazine.
Right.
I'm not working on anything really big right now. We're actually going to go on vacation in a couple of weeks. But afterwards, I'm sure I'll start emailing editors and putting together pitches.
So I tell you all this as background because we are getting into a real recipe for disaster. That is Billy Martin blowing kisses to the fans before the game on 10-cent beer nights. The Indians were playing what turned out to be a heated rival, at least in the moment. If you're one of those people who believes that kind of thing, it was a full moon as well that night. It was the beginning of June, so school was letting out and the local colleges were letting out as well. And of course, beer was 10 cents a cup. It was a combination of alcohol, adrenaline, and testosterone, said Mike Shropshire. And things started out relatively innocuously. This was one of several streakers that they had during the game. There was a father and son who ran out to second base and mooned the crowd between innings. There was a woman who came down onto the field and tried to kiss one of the umpires. It was shenanigans, but it was generally harmless shenanigans, certainly compared with what would come next.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.